Good morning, students. Today, in this lecture, we will study about the effects of noise in a analog communication system. So, first of all, we have to see about the in our previous lecture, we have seen the different methods of communication system in analog. So, what is the basically analog communication system? So, we have to use if we are working on the analog signals and what type of technology we are opting for modulation purpose, so that is basically based on the analog communication. So methods in which we are used, that is the analog amplitude modulation system and frequency modulation system. So when we are working on the amplitude modulation system, so in that particular part we have to already seen that amplitude modulation system is work out on the double sideband amplitude modulation, and that is the basically with carrier and without carrier. So in this lecture we have also seen effects of noise in that particular modulation technology, how these noise affects the performance of this modulation system. So apart from that, we have to also study that what is the role of frequency modulation system and what is the signal to noise ratio in our frequency modulation system. So one by one, we have to see how noise affects our communication system. So first of all, there is a some basic block diagram. At initially we have seen that where the particularly in which sections noise will be affect our system. So as we have to see in the basic block diagram of communication system, so there is a information source. That particular point, we can also use the input transducer, because source can be in any form. It will be sound, light, picture, word, so whatever type. So first of all, the basic task is you have to convert that physical quantity into the electrical quantity, and this task will be done by our transducers. So transducer will convert these signals into the electrical signals. There will be the term of transmitter. So now what will happens in transmitter sections, since these signals what we have to convert in electrical form, these signals are very low frequency signals, and these cannot be transmitted to the longer distances. So in transmitter sections we have done the modulation. So if we are doing about, if we have to also seen that there are basic types of modulation system is amplitude modulation and frequency modulation system, and we have to also seen that which type of modulation system is best, or which type of modulation system is better, noise immunity system is better of this type of modulation system. So again then we will move to the channel. So what about the channel? Channel is a medium through which our signal can be transmitted from transmitter to the receiver sections. So this is the basic part of our communication system. And now you will opt the channel. So channel can be either wireless channel or with wired channel. So both type of channels can, which type of channel we are using, there may be some part of noise is introduced, or we can say that maximum part of noise will be introduced during the transmission of our signals from transmitter to receiver sections. After at the receiver part we will receive our signals, and now again what we have to do, we have to demodulate our signals, because at the transmitter stations what type of process we have to perform, we have to done the modulation. So we have to again demodulate your signals. You have to superimpose your signal to the high carrier frequency. So again you will extract your signals from high carrier frequency signals, and then what will happen, you have to again use the transducer. So output transducer, it will again convert your electrical quantity into the physical quantity. So what type of signals you have transmitted to the transmitter section, it will be again converted, and there is a destination part. So basically the theme of study of this one is that where the noise can be transmitted. So first one is the major part of noise can be introduced during the channel when we are transmitting our signals from transmitter to the receiver sections, and another since we are also using the transmitter and amplifier sections. So due to the also electronic devices or resistances, there may be some part of noise will be also included in during that transmission purpose. So we will discuss the types of noise, which what type of noise are existing in our system during transmission. So if you are talking about the basic introduction of the noise, thermal noise, short noise, we will also see what about the signal to noise factor, or what is the noise figure, what is the noise temperature, bit error rate. So one by one we will take the what about the introduction. So first of all, what is the noise, or what is the basic property of our noise? So we will see that noise is a general term which is used to describe unwanted signal which affects a wanted signal. Means unwanted signals means you don't want to noise will be introduced in your signals, because when noise is insert your desired signals, the quality of signals will be degraded. Okay, and there may be also disturbances in our output signal. So this is basically a basic definition of noise is it is a unwanted signals. Second property, if you are little bit move to the technical part, that is a noise is a random signals that exist in a communications signals. So that is random signal cannot be represented with a simple equations, because random signal is a there is a complete system through which you have to study ki what is the basic property of a random signals, and how you can analyze your random system, and how you can extract that type of noise from your system. So random property, so we have to also go through the random behavior of your signal or your noise part, which we have to say in this section. The noise is a basically random behavior. So basic thing is here that how we can differentiate. There are different sources of noise, so we have to judge ki, our signals will be affected by which type of noise. So first of all, we will divide our noise into the two part. First one is the internal noise, and another one is the external noise. And internal noise is also divided into the sub part. So one by one we will see what is the factors due to internal noise. If we are talking about the internal noise, so that may be generated due to the electronic circuitry which we have to use. Suppose you have to use the transmitters, transducers. Again, here is the receiver sections. Again, you have to demodulate your signals. Again, you reconvert your signals by using the output transducer. So you are working on the different electronic circuitry in your communication system. So that may be also a part of your noise. So due to internal noise means due to your circuitry, there may also the generation of a noise. So that is basically due to random movement of electrons. Okay, so since electrons movement are random, so due to random movement or here and there movement of electrons, there may be only a small amount of noise will be generated in our electronic circuit. Now again we will see electronic components in a receiver. Suppose you have working on the receiver part. So your receiver is made from the suppose resistors, diode, transistor are major source of internal noise. When you are designing your communication system or receiver sections, you have an envelope detector or you have a synchronous detector. So what type of components you are working? So major components are basically resistor, diode and transistors, and these major components are responsible for generating the noise in our signal. Again we will classify it according to these components and behavior. First one is the thermal noise. So that is basically generated in the resistive part, short noise, transit time noise. So in further slides we will study about one by one this type of noise. Now we will move to the external noise. So in if you are talking about the external noise, so the following are the factors which will responsible for generating the external noise. So first one is the man-made noise and natural resources. So again, it is classified. कि either noise can be generated by a human-made things, or due to human utilization of resources or so many things, or natural resources. What type of natural resources are existing? Sun, moon, so many. There are solar systems and different factors are responsible for generating the noise. So that is basically either man-made noise or it may be either the natural resources. Second one, again we have to little bit define it. External noise come from the sources over which we have a little or no control. If you are talking about the little or no control means, external noise is basically you are using that in industries, sources is in motor generators, manufactured equipment. So that is basically in industry they are using for doing the certain type of work, but due to their existence or due to their noise effects, so many things that will be affected to our the signals also, and that will be also this will be influenced to our signals which are transmitting through the wireless medium. So this is also responsible for generating the external noise. Atmospheric sources, static electricity, and this is also responsible for generating the speakers. Okay, so there are too many things which is responsible, which are externally affected our noise system. Now again we will move to the basic definition of noise. In previous slide we have seen the classification of noise, ki how we can classify our noise in external and internal, and what is the role of your external noise and internal noise for affecting your signals. The noise level in a system is proportional to temperature and bandwidth, the amount of current flowing in a component, the gain of the circuit, and resistance of the circuit. So, if you are talking about the noise level, or if you want to calculate the noise in any system, so that is how you can differentiate, how you can define your noise. So, that is basically proportional to the temperature and bandwidth, in which temperature and bandwidth your system is working, amount of current flowing in a component. So what type of current flowing your component, the gain of the circuit gain, and resistance of the circuit. Okay, so these are the different factors in which our noise level will be dependent. Original signal, so that is since chunki noise is uh, naturally it will pass through our receiver system. Receiver cannot function as it should be, and since there is also a noise mixed, so reduced, and at output what effects you have to require, yeah, what type of signal effects we desired, that will be not up to the mark, and the quality of signals will be degraded. So that is the basically noise effects in our system. Now we will move to the this is the noise and how noise will affect our system. So there are several types of noise. So first of all, atmospheric noise, extraterrestrial, cosmic and solar, thermal noise, white noise, short noise, and quantization noise. So these are the very basic classification of our noise, and we will see one by one this type of noise. So as the name shows you, atmospheric noise. Okay, so results due to the various radio waves inducing voltage at antenna, creating the spurious waveforms. Okay, so that there is a reasons atmospheric noise, static noise. So there are different radio waves are inducing voltage at antenna, and it will be created the waveforms that will be radiated into the atmosphere. Reasons: weather conditions, dominant up to the 30 megahertz. So that is the way various atmospheric noise that will be included into the 30 megahertz. There will be very much disturbances due to the atmospheric noise. If you are talking about the extraterrestrial type of noise. So that is basically depend on the solar system or cosmic. Okay, so what will happen here if we are talking solar system? So there is also, since suns are radiating the very high radiation or very energy will be very heat energy will be generated from the sun, and due to this energy or due to this radiations some type of noises will also be introduced. Cosmic due to the radiations from other heavenly body. So that is basically due to these heavenly bodies or cosmic stars, there may also be some generation of our noises. So since these are constantly radiates their rays, so due to these radiation, our noise will also be generated in our signals, because our signals, if we are talking about the signals, so our wireless signals are moving everywhere in our atmosphere. Now if we are talking about the industrial, okay, so we are basically working on the industrial part. So that is created by men due to several reasons. So that is the reason, if we are talking about the industry, so that type of industry is made by the men. So this type of noise is by men made noise, okay. Or line passing nearby a transformer, of if there is a transformer and your signal line passing near the transformer, so due to their magnetic field effects, there is a EMF induced in transformer. So there may be also disturbances in our signals, interference by the other coexisting equipment. So there may be also any type of interference, TV remotes and IR equipments. So basically infrared equipments and TV remotes are also working on the infrared signals. So due to these signals there is also some type of noise will be introduced in our signal. Now we will move to the thermal noise. Okay. So what about the thermal noise? Basically Johnson noise or white noise. So thermal noise is also called as a Johnson noise or white noise. So what about the thermal noise is the result of random motion of charged particles. Generally if we are talking about the charged particles, so you can take it as electrons in a conducting medium such as resistors. Okay. So there is a conducting medium through which there is a moment of motion of charged particles, and that motion is basically random motion. So this type of noise is generated by all resistances. So if you have a resistance, semiconductor material resistance of a resonant circuit, the real part of the impedance and cable. So we can see here movement of electrons will form the kinetic energy in the conductor related to the temperature of the conductor. So that is basically movement of electrons is related to the temperature of a conducting materials. Okay. So that is the basically source of generation of thermal noise, that is also called as a Johnson noise or white noise. So that is the first part of our noise. This is a thermal noise, random motion of our charged particles. Now again we will continue. What is the basic equation? So experimental result by Johnson and theoretical study by Nyquist give the mean square noise. So V square, that is equal to mean square noise and voltage, and that is equal to 4 kTBR volt square. So K is the Boltzmann constant, capital T is the absolute temperature, B is the bandwidth noise measured, and capital R is the resistance in ohms. B for bandwidth noise measured in hertz. So that is a basic equation which we have to derive by experimental study of our thermal noise. So what is the relation between the thermal noise and mean square noise voltage? That is directly proportional to the absolute temperature, bandwidth of noise generated, and resistance what is offered by that particular system. So that is the basically basic equation of our mean square noise. So if you have to given one operational amplifier with a frequency range of 18 to 20 megahertz has input resistance 10 kilo ohm, so calculate the noise voltage at the input. So you have to calculate the noise voltage, and you have to given the amplifier operate at the temperature of 27 degrees centigrade. So you have to given the temperature You have to given the frequency ranges, means bandwidth, and the input resistance R. So then you can calculate the value of Vn. Now analysis of noise in communication system. Okay, so what about the noise analysis? So how you can analyze if we are talking about the thermal noise or Johnson noise? So basically, if we are talking about the noisy register, so we can differentiate with Vn, that is represent as a noise voltage, and there is a idle noiseless resistance R. So that is basically R. So Vn is the RMS value of your noise voltage, and Vn square, that is equal to 4 kTBR volt square. So that is the mean square value of that particular voltage, Vrms. So Vrms, that is equal to root of V bar square. Now we will see that what type of effects if we are communication system. So if you have to given the two resistances and that are connected in series. So what will happen due to one resistance? What amount of what amount of noise voltage is introduced? So we can calculate it as a Vn square. So that is also depend on the particular temperature T1 and the resistance R1. Due to same formula, we can also calculate the Vn2 square, that is the 4k T2 BR2. So R2 is the again resistance, and both are connected in series, so both are directly connected, T1 R1 plus T2 R2. So 4k T1 plus T2 will make it as a capital T, and R1 plus R2, that is a series resistor in series at same temperature. So that is basically Vn square, that is equal to 4k TB R1 plus R2. So if you two resistors are connected in series, so we can directly take it as we have to connect it the series connections, and you can either calculate the individual voltage Vn1 square and Vn2 square, and then you can take the accumulation of these uh, RMS noise voltage with due to the both the resistances which are connected in series. Again, if we can analysis if resistances are in parallel, so you can take the parallel connections, and again you will calculate it. So that is the total resistance R, that is equal to parallel combination of R1 and R2. So directly 4 kTBR. So R is the parallel combination of R1 and R2. So that will, you can also write in as R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2. So that is the again analysis of noise in due to the resistances are connected in parallel. Now, what about the short noise? Okay, so short noise is a type of electronic noise. So that's basically electronic noise that occurs when finite amount of particles that carrying energy, such as electrons in electronic circuit or photons in a optical device. Okay, so what is the basic reason? Basic reason is of short noise is basically electronic noise. Okay, that is due to the number of particles that carry the energy. So short noise was originally used to describe the noise due to the random fluctuations in the electron emission. So that is basically what is the basic reason of generating the short noise. So short noise is generated due to the random fluctuations due to electron emission. So there is an emission of electrons, and that may be the random fluctuations of these electrons from cathode in a vacuum tube. So that is called as a short noise of system. Short noise also occurs in semiconductors due to release of charge carriers. So there is again where we can find out the short noise. Short noise can also be found out in semiconductors. Short noise is found to have a uniform spectral density as for thermal noise. Okay, so that is also a, if you are describing the short noise is basically having the uniform spectral density as thermal noise. So that this property is same. We have to also see in our previous slides what about the thermal noise, and that is the short noise. So if you are talking about the short noise, that is basically the finite number of particles that carry the energy, and due to this there occurrence of electronic noise in a devices. flicker noise. So, also known as a low frequency noise signals. So, these flicker noise is generated with basically low frequency signals, also known as pink noise, also known as 1 by f, that is the inversely proportional to our frequency of signals. It occurs due to fluctuations in current density of carrier currents. Okay, so that there is a basically fluctuations in current density of current carrier, so that is basically change in current. RMS value is proportional to the square of the current, so that is the reason where we can see the flicker noise. So that is basically a low frequency noise signals. Now we will see the transit time noise due to time taken by the carriers to cross the junction. So that is basically happens in semiconductor materials, and transit time noise. So that is generated when there is a carriers are taken the time. That is this is basically a high frequency noise, and transit time noise is generated due to the carriers. Now we will see here how to determine noise level in communication system. So noise effects can be determined. So what is the effects of noise? So that is a there is a certain reasons which is responsible for generating the noise in our communication system. So there is a electronic devices, some atmospheric effects. So all these are responsible for generating the noise. But how we can determine this noise level in our system? So basically, you have to calculate the signal to noise ratio SNR for analog system. Okay, so that is what about the SNR? SNR is the signal to noise ratio in analog system. You have to also calculate the noise factor. In our previous slides, we will see about the noise factor, noise temperature, probability of error or bit error rate for digital system. So bit error rate is also generally a type of noise. To determine the quality of received signal at the receiver or an antenna, SNR is used. So if you are talking about the SNR, signal to noise ratio, so first of all you have to know the signal power and you have to know the noise power. So that is basically of signal to noise ratio SNR. So that will decide the quality of your received signal. And if at the receiver section, if we have to know the SNR, we can told you about the quality of our signals. If you are talking about the SNR 0 is always less than SNRI due to the fact that existence of noise in the receiver itself. So in the receiver usually constitute a process of filtering, demodulation and amplifications. So now what will happen if you are talking about the SNR 0 always less than SNRI. SNRI is signal to noise ratio at the input side. And if you are talking about the SNR 0, so this is basically signal to noise ratio at the output port. So here we will see that existence of noise in the receiver itself. So if you are versus in the what will happens here? There is basically noise will generated in the receiver very much. So if you are talking about the SNR at the input side, so input side the quality of signal will be very good. But if you are talking about the SNR 0, signal to noise ratio at the output side, so the quality of signals will be less and noise level will be very high. So SNR 0 is always if we are talking about the signal power, so signal power will be very less at the output side. So that is the SNR 0 is less than the SNR I. If you want to calculate the noise, so there are certain factors through which you can calculate our noise. So first of all, SNR. So what is the SNR? That is basically signal power as to the noise power. Means you have to calculate your signal power at the transmitter section or input side, and you have to also calculate the at that particular side noise power. If you are talking about the noise figure or noise factor, so approximate both are same. So if you are talking about the noise factor, so that is basically the SI by NI, matlab signal to noise ratio at the input side and signal to noise ratio at the output side. So that is the SI by NI upon S0 upon N0. So that is the noise figure F. Okay, so you can also calculate, if you have to calculate the S by Ni at the transmitter and S0 by N0 at the receiver sections, then ratio of both, that is called as a noise figure. And if you are going to convert your noise figure into dB, so you have to multiply with as a 10 log. So after multiplying it with a 10 log, you can convert your noise figure into the dB, and that is called as a noise factor of that particular system. So if you are talking about the signal to noise ratio, so signal power PS upon noise power, so you can calculate S by N, and if you are going to convert it into the dB, take the 10 times of log 10 of the S by N, so you can calculate the signal to noise ratio in dB. And what about the S dB meter minus N dB meter? So S and N measured in the milliwatt or microwatt. Now again we will discuss about the noise factor or noise figure. So you can see there is a network, so S by N at the input side and S by N at the output side. So there is a simple network, what type of network in which you are working. So input signal power upon output signal to noise ratio. So SNR at the input and SNR at the output. So ratio of both, that is equal to the noise factor. And better than a network, so what will happen? F equals to 1 for noiseless. Generally, F is equal to 1 for noiseless system, and generally it is greater than to the 1. So that is a basic property of our noise factor or noise figure. The same thing is here, but we have to told you. Now we will see the noise temperature. How we can define the noise temperature, as we have told. So equivalent noise temperature TE is not the physical temperature of the amplifier, but rather a theoretically construct, that is an equivalent temperature that produces that amount of noise power. So basically, if we are talking about the noise temperature TE, that is not the physical temperature of the amplifier, but rather a theoretical construct, that is an equivalent temperature that produces amount of noise power. So noise temperature TE, that is equal to TF minus 1. So TE equivalent noise temperature, capital T is the environmental temperature, and F is the noise figure. Okay, so you can told TE, that is equal to capital T F minus 1. So F is the noise factor, noise figure or noise factor, and you can calculate TE, that is the equivalent, what is the equivalent noise temperature and environmental temperature what is existing here. So that is the basic final equation, TE, that is equal to TF minus 1, where F is the noise figure or noise factor. So if you are working on the effects of noise on a baseband system, so generally basic components. So first of all, we will see that what type of property of noise. So at initial level, we will see that our noise has a additive noise property and a system without demodulation, and we assume it as a white Gaussian noise. So if we are taking about the white Gaussian noise, so spectral density, that is equal to n 0 upon 2 df. So that is basically, if we are talking about the power of that particular noise, so that is equal to n0 w. And due to this SNR, so SNR at that particular condition, so that is equal to n0 w is the power. Okay, so system without demodulation. So that is basically calculating the noise power. and P is the signal power. PS is the. So this is the double sideband in which there is a spectrum. And what about the double sideband suppressed carrier amplitude modulation? So you can define there is a carrier signals, and according to that we can calculate the power. So if you are talking about the power, that is AC square by 2 into PM. So what about the PM? PM is the sideband power. So what type of sideband power we are considering in our DSB, double sideband suppressed carrier. So according to that, AC square by 2, that is equal to PM, and PM is the power in the modulation system. So what about the demodulation? If you want to demodulate our signals, AC MT cos 2 pi FCT. So that is the basic signals. And for recovering that signal, so you have to RT into cos 2 pi FCT plus 5. So ACMT cos something. So now what will happen here? MT into cos phi and MT cos 2 pi FCT plus phi. So that is basically you have to cos A cos B, we have to apply the formula and we can solve it. And by using or solving all these thing components, so what is the basic purpose? The basic purpose is what about the signals at before the circuit. So that is the basically and after the circuit. So how your noise will affect it? So first of all we have to study that what is the noise before any type of system and what is the noise after entering that particular system. So according to that we will calculate the basic equations of our DSB SC. So that is the basically equations, and you can add there is after addition of noise ut plus nt, so there may be also addition of noise. So you can also calculate the power. So that is a SNR, signal power upon noise power upon SNR at the output. So by using we have to also study about this factor. So these you can use this one, and this is a time using this power due to the simple carrier, and this is the power due to the different components of their modulated signals part. That is due to the spectral analysis of our DSBSC system. So also you can see 1 by 4 AC square PM, that is the total power of masses. The total power of noise, that is the 1 by 4 PN and PNE. And SNR is the ratio of both. So you can calculate your SNR. So by presenting by received signal power PR, that is equal to the basically SNR. You can also work out on the single sideband suppressed carrier. So we have to see in double sideband what is the signal power, what is the, so you can also work out on the single sideband. So if you are talking about the single sideband, so there is a frequency, that will be the frequency separation. So by using these signals, we have to pass this signal through the Hilbert transform, and according to that we can calculate the basic methods of basic signal power. So that is a half of ACMT into the NCT. So that is basically related to the signal power and noise power. So how you can calculate the SNR of your SSB AM? So half of the AC square PM. So that is the total power of your masses. PM is the power of the signal MT, and 1 by 4 PN. So what about the PN? You can calculate the noise power, that is equal to N0 by 2 into 2 omega. So that is a omega N0. So power spectral density N0 by 2. So now you can calculate the SNR, signal to noise ratio. That is a ratio of total power of masses and noise. So what is about the received power? So you can from calculate here how you can calculate the power in your received signal. So first of all you have to analyze the signal equation, received signal equation, and you can calculate from there your power. So that is also upon this. This is the ratio as you have SNR ratio you will achieve at the output terminal. So there is a additive white Gaussian noise. So you can see here, okay, what is the basic property. So noise is usually in additive form and adds to the information bearing signal. So it will be added basically in the channel part, and we can assume noise in a additive form. If we are talking about the white Gaussian noise, so power spectral density will be uniform power spectral density, and we generally assume noise voltage amplitude have a Gaussian or normal distribution. So we will provide the Gaussian distribution or normal distribution to our noise voltage. And when we are considering, so we have to see that before the receiver part, so before the channel when there is no noise is introduced, and after the channel when there is a noise introduced in our system. So we can use this one. Now very slightly we will discuss about the noise in FM. So we are seeing here the basic FM receiver model, in which you have to calculate the signal power and the output signal power. So power of signal at the output without noise. So if we are talking about the what type of signal power at the without noise, so that is the basically power output signal power, that is equal to k square into f. There is again we will see the spectrum of our noise signal. So that is the NCT cos omega ct minus NST sin omega ct. So there is a also spectrum of our additive noise, that is basically in the additive format in our system. So we have to calculate the high SNR noise output. So it will be basically you can calculate a cos omega ct plus this one. So this one is the basically noise spectrum signal. So by using these two methods we can calculate it. It can be shown by the linear argument. So for high SNR, noise output approximately independent of the message signals. So we only have the carrier and noise signal present. So this is a basic method for calculating our signals at the output. So average noise power FM receiver 3a square kf square p 2n0 wq. So that is the FM. So this is the final equation. So there is nothing apart from that before noise. So how you have to calculate SNR at the input and SNR at the output part, how you can calculate basic property of our system. So in before detector you can also calculate the SNR, and after detector you can also calculate the SNR, and ratio of both that is equal to the SNR at the output terminal. So when we have to take the ratio, so that will be the final equation of our FM. So that is the basic part. Uh, Now we will see some objective questions. So before starting, we will again conclude in this sections we have discussed about the what is the role of noise, basically in which part noise is major affected to our signals, and basically types of noise, internal, externals, how they will affected our signals as a role of internal and external part, and what how you can calculate your signals in your communication system. So there is basically a different parameters. So first of all is the noise factor or noise figure, SNR, signal to noise ratio at the input sections and signal to noise ratio at the output section, and ratio of both, that is the noise factor, and the value of noise factor determine the quality of your signals. So by using the same formula, we have also used these formula in our previous lectures when we are studying about the FM modulation and amplitude modulation. So in that particular part, we have to use the different types of demodulator circuits, ampli transmitter circuits. So according to that, we can take these basic equations from that where we have not derived here in complete equations. So we have directly take the final values of our signals, and according to that, we will calculate the SNR of our signals at the particular frequency system. Either it may be frequency modulation system, so there may be a separate equations for particular frequency before the uh, signals when they are not reaching to the receiver sections. Before that, what is the basic property of your signals, and after that passing through this particular part. So noise is added to a signal. So where particular part we can add our noise. So you can see in this part, noise power at the register is affected by the value of register as. So what is the form we have? Thus they may we are using the Hilbert transform. And what is the role of Hilbert transform? It will connect every spectral part of your signals by 90-degree phase shifting of that particular value. At particularly room temperature of 300 K, calculate the thermal noise by two registers of this when bandwidth. So you have to given the bandwidth, you have to given the two registers temperatures. So calculate the thermal noise, how much amount of thermal noise will be generated. What is the property of random signals, as we have to discussed threshold effect. So reduction in output signal to noise ratio. So that is basically we reduce the so what is the role of threshold effect in our. What about the thermal noise, and what is the another name of our thermal noise is also known as, so you can also see in our previous slides. RMS value of thermal noise voltage is related to the Boltzmann constant. So what is the relation between the, you have to go through this all at room temperature. This there is a 300 K. Calculate the thermal noise generated by two resistor of this and this. So you have to given that value, and then you can calculate the noise power. So that is our objective questions which we have to do this quiz after reading this complete totally noise lecture. So today's lecture is totally based on the noise, and due to this, what is the basic? We will conclude here. Since noise is affected our analog signals too much, and when we want to extract that noise with your signals, so there is very tough task to extract the noise completely from our analog signals. And if we want to amplify our signals, noise will be also amplified. So it is a very major disadvantage of analog signals. If you are talking about the noise in our digital signals, from digital signals we can easily remove our noise effects of that particular signals, and our signals will be completely new generated after a repeater stations. And due to this, the effects of noise will be very less in our digital transmission. So if you are talking about the digital transmission, so that is basically in terms of digital signals, and this type of signals will be less affected by our the noise, because at the repeater sections we will again regenerate our new fresh signals. And this is the reasons that day by day our quality of our signals will be improving, and we are capable to listen, or what type of functions you have to perform music or so many things that can be properly performed by reduction of noise in a digital communication system or digital signal. So our next target is to be our in next lecture we will see about the analog, what is the difference between analog and digital signal, and what is the basic good parameters in our digital signal. So I think you have to clear all the concept of your noise, so it will be better. So okay, thank you.